So what's going on, guys? It's Captain America. Hope you guys are well, and thank you so much for coming onto the channel. So for this video, it's going to be a bit slightly different. So we had, let's say, a pro league tournament that we went for. It was more like a friendly tournament. So it was just, I think, 32 teams in total. It was split into like different groups. We were in a group where it was like 8 teams in total. So we played like 7 games overall, and then the first 2 positions would progress. And for us, again, it's the first time we've ever, like, let's say, competed in a pro league tournament, and we kind of merged with another club. So this club, I think, they were short on players, and again, it was very last minute. Like, we only agreed to it, like, some of the players in our team, like within like 2 hours before the kickoff. So of course we didn't have enough time to like understand how the other players play from the other team, so they joined our team for a bit, just for the tournament itself. And you know, it was one of those ones. Yeah, we could have been you know, better prepared. And the thing is, I think, you know, this again, as I mentioned, it's the first time we've entered a pro league tournament. So for us, it was just to understand how, let's say, the other teams play, first of all, and just the level of competitiveness within the, let's say, the scene, especially as we want to progress into the pro league ourselves. So you know, it's one of those ones where we just wanted to, you know, put our, let's say, toe into the water just to understand how, you know, how it is. Is it going to be a tough league? You know, how do they play? What's their play style? You know, they had, like, for example, the games that we were playing, you know, the clubs itself, they were fantastic. Like, honestly, it was a good game. We did lose a lot of the games, so, you know, it was a really tough experience, as mentioned, because, again, we haven't played with it. Like, I think there was 4 players that came from this team, so, you know, we didn't have our, let's say, strongest squad as well. So, you know, it's just for us to experience. And again, it was a massive learning curve for myself. So at least I understand how I can improve myself as a player and as a team as well, you know, whenever we do progress into the pro league. But, you know, these clubs that we were playing against were just phenomenal. You know, they had like set piece routines that they must have practiced for, you know, a long time, especially how they were doing it. They were majority of the time scoring from like set pieces. And, you know, it's unfortunate that we didn't have like a full team as well. Like in this game that you're seeing now, we didn't have like the right back position. So the captain had to change his position to like the centre mid. So halfway in the game, you'll see that we did have like a back four back line. But it's always a bit tough when you don't have a full team, especially if you're competing against like a full team opposition. But, you know, the opposition just didn't have, let's say, the goalkeeper as a human. But regardless, like everyone else in the other positions were human operated. So, you know, it's always a bit tough with the AIs because they just, let's say, hang around too deep. They just, reaction times are just so useless. They don't have the right pace. And again, it's not ideal to play with an AI. But no, I think it was, as mentioned, it was a really good experience for us. You know, it's a good learning curve because the way that these teams, these oppositions play, you know, we thought that we were good. Like, honestly, I thought we were actually really good. But the level of quality that these teams have, of course, because they're training with the same, let's say, lineup every single, let's say, day, for example. They're, you know, training as such because they're pro league. And they've got such a, I don't know, rigid and strict way of, like, operating, which is beautiful, like, to watch. You know, some of the games that we were playing against, I don't have many of the videos, I just want to capture one for this pro league. You'll notice, like, they just play, like, they push all in, like, one go. So, you know, the defensive side of things are then, you know, rushed into making, like, decisions that they shouldn't, you know, passing back either to the goalkeeper, which makes the situation worse, because then either if he lost the ball over, you know, to the halfway line, regardless, they're going to get the ball again. So, you know, we did make many mistakes where we were passing too much in the defensive area, and the oppositions were, you know, of course, moving higher with their line. So, you know, it was hard for us to get away from that, and something that we couldn't get right was our formation as well, because, you know, we always tend to go with the same formation that we've been playing on the Division 1, which is like 4 at the back, and then you got like a diamond in the middle, and then 2 strikers. So that's the formation that we were going with, and we started with that, don't get me wrong, but with the players that we had joined from the club, they were playing both left back and then right back afterwards when we moved over the centre back, sorry, not the centre back, the centre mid to the right back position. So they were mentioning, like, oh, they haven't played as a wing back position, so they weren't really comfortable. So of course we were, you know, you know, we weren't great in terms of our team when we were going into this tournament, first of all. So you know, like, there's so much to it with the formations. Then we were going back to like a 3 at the back as centre backs, and then going with that. But we were getting completely demolished. The fact was that we couldn't control the middle. The midfield is the key asset of the team. They're operating defensively, supporting with the centre backs or whoever it is, winning the balls, and then they're pushing as much as they can as well to the front side of things, so they could look for opportunities with passes, get into space, support the team. And we just couldn't control the middle, so we were rotating it way too much, and that was a problem, of course, because each individual player understands how each person is going to be next to them, in a way, but it's always going to be hard if you're going to keep rotating positions in this Pro League. So that was a mistake that we made. So of course, whenever we go into the next tournament, whenever we do, we're going to have like strict positions and just go by that, and of course just work our way through that. And the formation that we actually tried out, and we played quite well. Like, the last game was against the team that was at the top of the table, and they hadn't lost the match. And that game itself, we lost 2-1, but it was unfortunate. Like, we were actually dominating the team that had won all their games. And don't get me wrong, we got baptized by some of these teams, man, like 5-0. It was just one of those ones where we were having a free backline that just completely violated us. So I think the 5 at the back was the best formation that we had, and then it was like 3 in the middle and then 2 up front, I think it was. I can't remember now, but it was a very good formation, and that's something that we should be using more and just trying out, because again, once we get used to these positions and where everyone else is, like in the wing back position, you've always got like 3 at the back, and then the midfield could go and drop in. So no, I think it was a fantastic experience for us. As mentioned, it was the first ever Pro League tournament, so it was something that we just didn't expect, the level of quality that there would be. I thought it was going to be, quite good in terms of like how the teams are playing, but some of these teams were just lethal. Like, they had, you could just tell that they train a lot. Like, they train every single day. They've got like the first team, and then of course benches and rotations wherever possible. But nah, some of these teams are really good, man, and that's the level of quality that I do hope that we keep pushing for and learning as a team as well. So no, I think it'll be exciting to see where we go from here. Where we strengthen up first of all, and how we start changing our style of play to push for those Pro League side of things, and just understand how we could compete in the Pro League, because we've been wanting to go into the German Pro League. This is the first opportunity just to step into the water, understand how it is, and it's a good understanding for us to take back and areas to improve. So no, keep watching this space. I think it's going to be fantastic for us, and yeah, I think you guys will enjoy as well our journey into this Pro League. And competing against the likes of these teams that you'll see are just fantastic, and it's just beautiful to watch as well from like a defensive perspective too, because the attackers itself, they got really good ball control, and their passing is really good too. But no, just generally the way that these teams have it is just fantastic. So no, do enjoy the video, guys. And what we'll talk also about today is transfers, of course, because we are in the summer, the key period, where managers have so much time to purchase a player and hopefully have that individual player molded into the team to join up into the first team as soon as possible, or even right away. So we've got the likes of Phillips that's now moved over to City. I did predict a while back in a couple of videos prior to this where the value of Phillips, I was saying, was going to be around like 50 mil. Like, this was before any of the rumoured value. And then I think it was a day after, they were like, oh, it's going to be around the range of 45 to 50 mil. And I was like, I knew it was going to be like that, because British players, for some reason, are just overpriced, over the value of what they should be. Like, he's a reasonable 15 to 20 mil. 15, 20 mil, because he's coming from Leeds, which they didn't have a fantastic season. But for them to overprice that, even like Rafinha, for example, they're looking at 65 mil. Like, for me, that's so overvalued. Like, he's actually around maybe 30, because he didn't, like 30 mil, because he didn't do much last season, Rafinha. I think it was like, he only had like a couple of assists or some crap like that. Like, he had a poor season compared to the previous season that he was in the league. So I think, with Arsenal going for Rafinha, I think that'll be an interesting purchase, because again, he's going to be now in an upgraded team, because I think they're going to purchase him. I do feel that he's going to move over to Arsenal, especially with all the Brazilians that these guys are going for, man. They're doing some samba soccer, in Arsenal. I think they're trying to bring that, that vibe, that samba vibe into Arsenal again. So, you got the likes of Jesus, who's coming from Man City. That's been agreed. So he's going to be moving over to Arsenal. I think that's going to be a fantastic purchase, especially as he's played, under Arteta. So Arteta knows how he is as a player, and to be honest with you, like on all of these football managers and whatever, he was always one of the highest rated like youthful signings as a striker. But then, of course, with Man City and the way that they have with their strength in like literally every single position, I think it was so hard for him to find game time first of all over Aguero. And then when Aguero left, I think then it was just hard for him to like find even more game time, because it was just a case where you've got like other players. They, you know, like what is it? Man City weren't even playing with a striker last season most of the time. It was like, you know how Pep was doing it at Barca with like literally every like midfielder would be in the attacking position and they would not have like a specific forward. So no, I think it's going to be interesting for Jesus. I think he did, you know, shine, you know, at some key times towards the latter end of last season. So, you know, I think he's a fantastic player, and I think Arsenal will be a very good team for him. I do see Arsenal, I've mentioned it as well, coming like third next season. I think the purchases that Arteta's making are very youthful. So, you know, the time that it will take for them to mould and grow as individuals and as a team is going to be fantastic to watch. And, you know, we did see the likes of like, was it Smith Rowe doing fantastic, even Odegaard's doing very well for Arsenal, and you've got Saka, of course, doing fantastic. So they've got a very youthful team, and I think they're just going to be adding to that experience, and it's just going to be great to see Arsenal next year. I think they're going to be a very, very good force, and I do see like Tottenham getting fourth as well, because the purchases that they're making, I think they're making some strong, and they've made some strong purchases. Chelsea, on the other hand, the banter club, honestly, with Lukaku going now to Inter Milan, his favourite team. And man took a pay cut. That's how bad the situation is at Chelsea, okay? Man took a pay cut just to leave them so he could go to his boyhood club, which is called Inter Milan, which is, yeah, pure banter. So with Chelsea, they've got the likes of Neymar, which is being rumoured to come over, which I honestly feel is going to be a very bad buy. Like, the purchase itself, like, he didn't do well in the French league. Of course, you got the likes of Mbappe, Neymar, and then of course Messi. You know, the front three should have been the most lethal in like generally in the entire Europe. And you know, they did get knocked out in the Champions League. So lol. But now I think with Neymar, I think he's too old now. He's been quite injured. I think he's more injury prone than he was previously. But again, he's not going to be in that physical state of the league. You know, man is a stick, and we've seen that in like the World Cups and wherever it is, where if you literally just touch him, he's going to be on the floor majority of the times, then he's actually going to be on his feet for the game. So, nah, Neymar's going to be a very, very horrible buy for Chelsea, but if they do purchase him, that's going to be pure banter, because they just love wasting money, and they don't do anything about it. Like, they just got so much money to spend, which is sad to see for a lot of clubs, but yeah, I don't think nothing's going to happen with that. But they are also rumoured with De Ligt for Juve, you know, the Dutch defender, the centre-back who was, you know, always, let's say, a wonder kid type of, you know, star for, like, Ajax, and then he got purchased by Juve, sorry. And he's been at Juve for a while now, and he's had, like, in and off, like, periods of performance, I feel. You know, I think, you know, the purchase, if he does go to Chelsea, will be very interesting as they look to strengthen the back line. I think, you know, it's going to be an interesting purchase. I think, you know, Dutchies do tend to do quite well. We've got the likes of Van Dijk in the league. We've also got now Botman going over to, like, Newcastle. So that's going to be really interesting as well. But I think with De Ligt, you know, they're looking at even giving Werner, like Chelsea. I don't know who the hell they're going to, you know, sign as a striker. Neymar. Man's going to fall as a centre forward. He's not great. So, yeah, they're going to be trading Werner as well, which I feel Werner's going to do fantastic in the German league, by the way. I think, you know, the way that the Italians play is quite defensive, so man's just going to run and just pace through, and he's just going to, like, score, like, tons of goals. And then Chelsea's going to buy him back for, like, I don't know, 200 mil, because by then, inflation has just killed us all off. But now, I think it's going to be a very interesting season for, like, Chelsea. I don't see them getting, like, third or fourth. I think they're going to get fifth. It just depends on the purchases that they're making. It's just the people that they're rumoured for. They're going for like aged like individuals which aren't really that great, or even like superstars. But you know, the likes of like Liverpool, they sign not really superstars, but like mid players, and then we turn them into superstars. But Chelsea, they seem to have like a wrong way of doing things, and same with Man City. So no, I think it's going to be interesting. The league next season, there's so much possibilities, guys. I think it's going to be a very exciting league. Just all based around this summer rumours and these transfers that are waiting to happen. But no, we're coming to the end of the video. I do appreciate your guys' time as always. You know, please do like and comment and subscribe if you guys are new. And those that are oldies and goldies, thank you again for all your, you know, support. And yeah, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Dwie piłki, koniec po obronie.
Ja dałem to już 90 minuta, to wszyscy tam, wiesz. Chyba spalony, co?
Nie wygram tego, mam z obrońcą.